Hey there, Internet. Keeve here, and welcome to the Cars of Keeve YouTube channel. And as you can see about a smile on my face, no, it's not because I'm reviewing a new pressure washer. It's because I have some amazing updates on the BigBoi products. Now, first off, in my duo video for the BigBoi on Friday afternoon, the owner of BigBoi reached out to me, Danny, and admitted that they had made a few mistakes, or maybe an over-assumption, possibly. The mistake was they shipped the foam can that was supposed to be for the Pro in the Duo boxes. The Pro has a 4-pole motor, has a triplex pump. It doesn't have to work very hard to use a 1.15 orifice. But the Duo with a 1.15 orifice was getting over 17 amps. Now, a lot of people have tried it and said they never tripped the breaker, but 17 amps, regardless of whether or not your breaker trips, because you could have a clean circuit. The thing is you're running over 17 amps on a machine designed for 15 amps. Whether the motor can handle or not, or the pump. The power unit here, the capacitors, micro switches, are made for 15 amps. So you can be lessening the life of that and not even know it. Most people don't have an amp meter. They don't have a PSI gauge. They rely on the manufacturers to send stock equipment that meets what they say it is. So that was the mistake there. They are rectifying that mistake by sending all the customers who have already bought a Duo a new orifice nozzle that will keep it in under 15 amps. I actually bought this, so I'll be getting it. I got the email. So if you have not got an email from BigBoi, check your spam folder. It's probably from Shopify, possibly might not necessarily be from BigBoi, but I believe the contact is iBigBoi. So make sure you look. If not, reach out to their customer service because they are rectifying the issue with that orifice. And not just the orifice, they're sending new nozzles. So also in the video, we were over 15 amps. 15.5, and it was fluctuating here and there. And at the factory, they said they had gotten those numbers, but it fell below those numbers at some point. And the problem is like everybody's circuit is different. You could get 14.8, and I can get 15.5. It just depends truly. But we make sure that everybody is under 15 amps. I mentioned in the video that a 4.2, 4.3 would be the best, and that's actually what they're going to do. They're sending you 4.2 orifices, unless they decide to change that last minute, but that's the last I know. So they're sending you new nozzles and new orifices. And that's a great customer service move because I knew that they knew about it and they said they were fixing the issues, but I was worried that what was going to happen to the current customers, the ones that just placed an order or have it in transit. Are they going to be rectified, or are they just going to have to go through support? Because some companies, they don't rectify the issue. They just wait for support tickets to come in. But they went out there, and these parts probably aren't in the United States. They're probably shipping from Australia. So I don't know if they're going to be airing them out here. I don't know the time frame that it's going to take to get them here. But for sure, they are fixing the issue, and that's amazing. They also advised that they were looking into strengthening the plastic in the bottle to not have it break so much. But I let them know if you run a clear plastic bottle, I don't care how strong it is, it might break on the second drop or the third drop instead of the first drop. But PET2 plastic is going to bust. It is a single-use plastic product. HDPE is the way to go. Clear is nice. I like it. It's cool. Just don't drop it. So really, that's it for the BigBoi Duo, but there's more. They reached out to me on the BigBoi Pro and they said they felt the numbers were a little bit low, and they kind of were. We never really got over 13 amps. We never really pushed the machine at all. They're running this at over 14 amps, but this, it's just out there lollygagging around and just doing it. He's going to last forever. Over-engineered 4-pole motor, over-engineered triplex pump. This is a great choice for those of you who are looking for a heavy volume commercial environment. The cost of this is slightly higher. Like I had mentioned in the video before, the Active 2.3, if you're in the United States, tax-free, free shipping from Active. So it comes out to $650. The BigBoi at $550 here with taxes and shipping is going to put you at about $650. But they are running a birthday sale now, but this is sold out. So that kind of doesn't help. But I believe the Pro is still available, and it's about 8 or 10% off on their website. So that's a pretty good deal, but you also still will be shipping. And right now, I believe it's like a flat rate of $65, at least to me. And then obviously you have taxes as well. This machine is well worth it if you're in a commercial environment. Now, this isn't just about BigBoi. The Active 2.3 video just went out. Just washed the car with it. Wow, works really good. the sound is it. I just played with the BigBoi as we were fixing it, and the noise difference between the two it's significant. It really is. But that is the only difference here. So you have amazing choices. I don't think between the three of them, if you said, oh man, I watched this video, that video, and I watched it, now I got FOMO, I missed out, all these are awesome. They're all good. You cannot go wrong anyway. So let's get into the pro and the improvement. Now this improvement can get you between 5 and 10% improvement. Depends on which nozzle you're using and depends on whether it's PSI or GPM. What we're doing on this machine, we have to be very careful. I have an amp meter. I have a PSI gauge. I can dial it in perfectly to make sure that I am 14.5 amps and under. They wanted me to make sure that we keep it under 14.5 amps. Like we said before, we're on 13. Do not do this on this machine. I repeat, do not do that on this machine. It is already at the limit. You can't increase it anymore. So there's a pressure regulator here. We're going to take this off, and then we're going to just take the lock and move it out a quarter turn. Lock it back down, and then we'll max out our pressure regulator. That is going to net you 1,200 PSI at 1.95 gallons per minute on the stock nozzle. Before we were getting 1030 at 1.83. So not only are we increasing the PSI at the stock nozzle, we increased the gallons per minute. Now, as we go up in nozzles, it does not increase at the same rate, but it increases. So the stock nozzle is 3.5. So we go up to a 4.0 with it pumped up. You're going to be able to get 1050 PSI at 2.07 gallons per minute. Now we go to a 4.5. This is where things don't increase as quickly, but 930 PSI with a 4.5 at 2.12 gallons per minute. So overall, we raised the max gallons per minute from 2.07, which before was at 850. Now it's at 930, and we're getting more GPM. The stock numbers are now exactly what's on the box, actually slightly more. 1.92 at 1200 PSI is what the box says. Now we're going to be at that number with 1.95. We can go up to a 4.0, a 4.5, and maybe even a 5.0. I didn't test the GPM numbers, but the 5.0 is like 730 or 740. So I didn't really want to look at it, but I think the GPM number is not going to increase there as much. When you're using these induction motors, it doesn't increase and decrease like a universal motor. But we have been able to improve the performance on the Pro, which is amazing, and it makes this an even more viable solution. So like I said, all three of them are great buys. And big thanks to BigBoi for reaching out so quickly on the video and even on the Pro, offering to improve the performance on the Pro without having to have their customers change anything. Now, I don't know if an email is going to go out on this or not, on how to improve this. But like I'm saying, we need to be very careful on what we do here and don't do that on this. So let's show you what we're going to do. So right here you have a Phillips. I'm using a flathead. I mean, it's the exact same. Take that out. Now, sometimes this neon little knob here is tough, but if it is tough, just take your screwdriver and just don't do it on the pressure switch, but on the metal here, you can just do a little pop. You see, this is your pressure regulator. This is the lock screw. It has a little grub screw right here. That is a 5/64. So we're going to take out, well, you don't have to take it out, you just need to loosen it. Now we're loose. So now we're going to turn this to the right. It doesn't take much to get it going. We're not turning it much. I'm here and I'm going to put it here. Just like that. And now we tighten down that grub screw. We put our knob back on. Now see how much more we have to turn. Now we're maxed out. So we've made our change. Let's test it out real quick. And I do apologize. I'm not going to test all those numbers. I did them earlier, and I just got to get this video out as fast as possible for you guys. We're dead on 1200 PSI. Yes! 14.48 amps. Very consistent draw. It is slightly dropping, so that's awesome. That makes this an even better machine. And man, you're gonna have that longevity. Now, obviously, if you ran it at the 13 amps, it's probably gonna last a lot longer. At 14 and something amps, it's gonna have to work a little bit harder. But I mean, those numbers, I'll sacrifice that. Well, there you go. You saw the improvement. Like I said before, please be very careful. I actually suggest you pick up a amp meter. They are not expensive, like 20, 25 bucks. It just plugs into your outlet. You plug the plug into it. It'll tell you your wattage, amps, volts, like all that really good stuff to help you truly dial that in and let you know when you're using equipment with different foam cans and stuff, because a lot of them, they are not truthful on what the orifice actually is. Just because they state it's 4.0 orifice doesn't mean it's 4.0. It's just stamped that. Same with a foam cannon nozzle saying it's a 1.1 or 1.25. I've measured some that are off by like 30%. And just way low, like a 1.1 that measured as 0.99. That's a significant increase in amp draw. So when you're investing in machines like this, I think that 20 bucks for an amp meter, that's absolutely needed. PSI gauge, not so much. As long as you're the amps that you're looking for, you're going to be cleaning that car just fine. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to check out the links below for anything in the video. Big thanks to BigBoi for taking care of their issues, and I'll see you in the next video. We'll get it under. Hey there, Internet. Keith here, and welcome to the Cars That Keep You. So if you have not gotten email, so with it pumped up,